Yo, what's going on around? How you guys doing today? Welcome back to another YouTube video. And in today's video, we're gonna be updating the mod build. It is one of my favorite builds in the game. And when I heard about the DIRIS buffs, you know I had to do this. This is the perfect time for us to update this build, now that it's probably gonna be the best version of the build that it's ever been. Now this build is all about blinding targets, as well as giving yourself and your teammates overshields, jolting targets, spawning grenades, and just getting as many mods out there as we can get. And now with the new mods, also about weakening targets and stunning overload champions. So if that sounds like something that you're interested in, then this is gonna be the perfect build for you. And like always, for this we're gonna need the DIRIS and also the Mod Keeper wraps exotic gauntlets. As long as you have these two things, you'll be able to make the build work. But let's not waste any more time, let's get into it. And first we gotta talk about some of the buffs the DIRIS got. So these are all the buffs the DIRIS got. But the main ones you gotta notice are the increased impact damage, the extra reserves, and as well as spawning mods on direct hits. Now every time that you hit something twice, so some of the bigger enemies, is gonna spawn some mods. And the mod cooldown on it also got reduced from 4 to 3 seconds, so you're also gonna be able to spawn more mods. And overall, there's gonna be more mods out there healing you and also blowing up the enemy. And this thing it feels pretty nice. It carries a lot of ammo now, which is really good because this is pretty much like the only weapon we're gonna be using. We also do have an arc machine gun on just in case we run out of ammo, but I would like to use this weapon just as much as possible. And that's because the DIRIS does so much for this build. It amplifies you on final blows. Also on final blows you can spawn the mods that give you the overshield or blind targets. By itself it's also gonna blind whenever you're amplified, so if you get a kill, it's just gonna blind things around it. It's gonna apply a debuff to some of the bigger enemies, and it's also gonna stun, overload, and unstoppable champions. It's gonna be able to do all of that without really doing anything special. All we gotta do is just fire the weapon like we would any other grenade launcher, but it's gonna be doing all those things all at once. Now for our subclass, we are on Arc with the Gathering Storm, but you could actually use Arc Staff if you wanted to, and it would be the same thing. Now our grenade and our melee are not really gonna matter. Our grenade is gonna be replaced by the mods, and our melee is not something that we're gonna use too often. So just go with whichever you like. I will use disorienting blows. Now moving on to our aspects, the very first one we're gonna have is flow state. Whenever we defeat a jolted target, it'll make us amplified, and whenever we're amplified, our dodge recharges more quickly, and we're also more resilient while dodging. These are the main two things that we're gonna be taking advantage of, especially the dodge. We're gonna use our dodge as quickly as possible, and this kind of allows us to just kind of spam it. Now for your second aspect, you can actually go with whatever you want. It's not really going to affect the build too much. If you go Lead to Current, Tempest Strike, or Ascension, so you just go with whichever you like the most. I would definitely say though, Lead to Current and Tempest Strike are probably better than Ascension, since we want to use our dodge just normally, not activating the Ascension dodge. So now moving on to the fragments, the very first one we're going to have is the Spark of Shock, which is going to let our arc grenades jolt targets. And this is going to apply to our mods, and since we're going to be throwing so many out there, we're just going to be jolting enemies all over the place, giving us more ad clear, and also some more damage on some of the bigger enemies. After that we're going to have Spark of Resistance. This is going to give us some damage resistance whenever we're surrounded. This is always nice to have, especially in some of the tougher activities. It's just going to keep us alive longer. After that we're going to have the Spark of Beacons, one of my favorite fragments here on the Arc class. Whenever we're amplified, which is gonna be most of the time, our heavy and special weapon final blows create a blinding explosion. We're really just going all in the blind. We're blinding with all our mods, we're gonna be blinding with our weapons, and then the kills that we get with those weapons are gonna spawn more mods that are gonna blind more targets. Essentially we're just gonna be going around blinding everything that we see. It's pretty amazing. And all these different blinds will affect the unstoppables as well, so that's going to be a very easy way to stun them. And the last fragment is going to be the Spark of Amplitude, which will let us make orbs whenever we're amplified. Which again, we're always going to be amplified, so we're always going to be making some extra orbs of power, just helping us get our abilities back faster, and also our super. And now that brings us to our exotic piece of armor, the Moth Keepers, and it's the other half of the build. Without this, the DIRIS wouldn't be able to spawn as many mods as it does, because just having this thing on lets us spawn 2 mods per kill instead of just 1 like it would normally. And then we also have our grenade charges that we can throw if we want to get more mods out there, and we also get them back really quickly. with our armor charge, with all the orbs that we're making, getting back our grenades is super easy. I hope that Bungie keeps doing these like exotic armor pieces that pair up really well or give special effects to like certain exotic weapons, because these are just perfect for builds. Now we're gonna be taking a look at our mods and our class item, and this is really where a lot of the work comes in. So first of all, for our helmet we have Harmonic Siphon, so we can make some orbs, Ashes to Acid, so we can get some extra energy on those grenade kills, and lastly Special Ammo Finder, so we can keep our grenade launcher just topped off. Now moving on to our gauntlets, we have Grenade Kickstart plus Firepower. Firepower will make it so we make some orbs with grenade kills, and Grenade Kickstart will make it so whenever we have some armor charge and we use our grenade, we get back some grenade energy. This is gonna help us just keep up our grenades so we can always have some grenades. Now for our chest piece, we have our resistance mods and also our charge up mod, so we can go up to 4 armor charges. This is gonna be really good, not only for the kickstart, but also for another mod that we'll see later. On our boots, we have recuperation, so we can heal with orbs, innervation, so we can get some grenade ability energy with orbs, and lastly, arc scavenger, so we can get some more ammo out of those ammo bricks that we get. And lastly, for our class item, we have special finisher, powerful attraction, and reaper. Reaper is going to give us another way of making more orbs. Powerful attraction lets us pick up all the orbs around just by using our class ability, which is something that we're going to be using a lot because of Reaper. We want to proc Reaper as much as we can, so we do want to spam our class ability a lot. And lastly, special finisher is if we just can't find ammo. If we really just can't find ammo for a special weapon, we're going to make the ammo ourselves. It will consume 3 stacks of armor charge, but it's definitely worth it, and we're going to have a lot of armor charge anyways. Now moving on to the artifact, there's a couple of them that are going to help us. You definitely always want to have overload grenade launcher, so you can stun those overloads. I also really like Killing Breeze, that increased mobility you get after getting some kills. Those feel pretty nice, especially when you're playing on a mobile build like we are. Another really good one, and one of the MVPs of the build is right here, Trace Evidence. This will make it so whenever we get rapid final blows on blind targets, it's going to generate ionic traces, and also picking up those ionic traces will give us armor charge. So we're going to be getting armor charge from the ionic traces as well as the orbs, so we're always going to have a ton of them. This is going to be another good one, Total Carnage. Whenever we finish an enemy, we're going to get some damage resistance, and we're pairing that one with Debilitating Wave so we can actually do some damage as well. And if you boost this one, then whenever you do the finisher, you will also blind targets, so this just adds even more blind to the build. And the last one would be Concussive Reload. This will make it so you weaken some of the bigger enemies, the champions, the bosses, the mini bosses, the things that basically you need to weaken to kill faster. Your grenade launchers just gonna do more damage to them. And that's pretty much all of them that are really gonna affect this build. Since this is the ARC version of it, some of these mods won't really affect us. So I am kind of looking into making a prismatic version of this that actually takes advantage of all the mods, especially here at the end. Some of these mods are very interesting, and I don't really want to miss out on some of them. So once I unlock them and we have a prismatic build, then we might have to revisit this weapon and this build. But anyways, hopefully you guys have enjoyed the video. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed the build. It's one of the most fun builds out there, and if you guys have never tried this, give it a try. You may actually really end up falling in love with this build. It's definitely different, but effective in its own unique kind of way, which is why this has been one of my favorite builds for such a long time. But yeah, if you guys have any suggestions or any changes, make sure you guys leave them in the comments below. Or if you also have some suggestions for the prismatic one I might make in the future, leave those in the comments below as well. Like always, the link will be in the description below, and also in the pinned comment, in case you guys want to give it a try just by using the link. Anyways, thank you for watching, thank you for stopping by today. Good luck with the build, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care everyone, have a good rest of your day. Peace.